Hello and welcome to the fourth edition of WWE's Dirtiest Secrets, right here on Pro Wrestling 101, live on my YouTube channel, the legendary Alex Cardinale. I'm your host, WWE fanboy Alex Cardinale. Today, I present to you the final WWE Dirtiest Secrets of 2021. So, today's episode of Dirtiest Secrets is going to be a topic that may be hard for some people to remember and hear about. It is the tragic death of Canadian WWE superstar Owen Hart. Now, the tragic death of Owen Hart took place in May of 1999. And I was not watching pro wrestling in 1999. I believe the years 1999 and 2000, I took a break from watching professional wrestling. So I did not see Owen's Hart death on television. It wasn't aired on television anyway, but I did not see it. I only learned about Owen's Hart's death in 2001 when I returned to pro wrestling, and my dad had found out about it from a friend, and he told me. And when I found out about it, I was devastated because Owen Hart was one of my favorite Canadian wrestlers. And I'm going to go out on a limb here and say he is the best member of the Hart family. He had a great future in professional wrestling, and it is sad that he passed away. And he died in an accident that did not need to be done. And that's what we're going to talk about today on WWE's Dirtiest Secrets, Episode 4. Now, there's a lot of controversy surrounding this case because WWE continued the pay-per-view Over the Edge in 1999. That is the exact broadcast where Owen Hart lost his life. I'm going to share my exact thoughts on Vince McMahon's controversial decision to continue the pay-per-view, and I'm also going to share my thoughts on Owen Hart's death, and I'm going to share my thoughts on Martha Hart, who is the wife and widow of Owen Hart, and I'm going to share my thoughts on her holding back Owen Hart's WWE Hall of Fame induction and Martha's resistance to work with the WWE. And also, I will share my thoughts on Martha Hart working with AEW. So, like always, I want my viewers, you wrestling fans, to share your thoughts in the comments. What are your thoughts on the death of Owen Hart? Let me know in the comments below. Simply leave a comment on YouTube or Facebook. If you watched the Over the Edge pay-per-view as it happened, let me know your initial reaction when Jim Ross told you that Owen Hart has passed away. I'm pretty sure it was a shocker to all of you wrestling fans. All right, let's go ahead and get started. Before we get into all the sad stuff, Let's start by remembering Owen Hart's pro wrestling career. So that begs the question, who was Owen Hart? Well, Owen Hart was a legendary Canadian professional wrestler who worked for several promotions, including Stampede Wrestling, New Japan Pro Wrestling, World Championship Wrestling, WCW, and his last promotion, the World Wrestling Federation, WWF, aka WWE. He received most of his success in the WWF, where he wrestled under both his own name, Owen Hart, and the ring name, the Blue Blazer. A member of the Hart wrestling family, he was born in Calgary, Alberta, and he was the youngest of 12 children of Stampede Wrestling promoters Stu and Helen Hart. Among other accolades, Owen was a one-time USWA Unified World Heavyweight Champion, a two-time WWE Intercontinental Champion, a one-time WWE European Champion, and a four-time WWE World Tag Team Champion, as well as the 1994 WWF King of the Ring winner. He headlined multiple pay-per-view events for the WWF and was widely regarded as one of the company's best in-ring performers. And I've already said that I believe Owen Hart is the best member of the Hart family. So here are some of Owen's most memorable WWF matches and moments. One of my personal favorite Owen Hart feuds was the feud with his own brother, Bret Hart. Bret Hart and Owen Hart had classic matches and a great feud, and it really showed that two family members can create an awesome story. Owen Hart versus Shawn Michaels was great as well. Owen Hart versus Stone Cold was awesome, although Owen Hart is responsible for Stone Cold's neck injury, as he injured Stone Cold's neck at SummerSlam 1997. But accidents do happen in the ring, sadly, and we're going to learn about that in a few moments. And Owen was a good tag team partner to WWE Hall of Famer Jeff Jarrett. So that is who Owen Hart was. He was a legendary WWE superstar, and at the time it was known as WWF. So hopefully one day Owen Hart will be in the WWE Hall of Fame, but it's likely not to be for a while, as his widow, Martha Hart, holds a grudge against Vince McMahon and the WWE. All right, so now we're going to learn about his tragic death. So his tragic death occurred at the pay-per-view WWF Over the Edge 1999. So it happened a while ago, but a lot of wrestling fans still talk about it. So WWF Over the Edge aired live on on Sunday, May 23rd, 1999. Owen Hart fell to his death in Kansas City, Missouri during the Over the Edge pay-per-view. Owen Hart was in the process of being lowered via a harness and grapple line into the ring from the rafters of Kemper Arena for a booked Intercontinental Championship match against the Godfather. In keeping with the Blazers' new buffoonish superhero character, he was to begin a dramatic entrance, being lowered to just above ring level, at which time he would act entangled, then release himself from the safety harness and fall flat on his face for comedic effect. This necessitated the use of a quick release mechanism. It was an elaboration on a Blue Blazer stunt done previously on the Sunday Night Heat before Survivor Series in 1998. While being lowered into the ring, Owen Hart fell 78 feet, landing chest first on the top rope, which was approximately a foot from the nearest turnbuckle, throwing him into the ring. Owen Hart had performed the stunt only a few times before. Owen Hart's widow, Martha, has suggested that by moving around to get comfortable with both the harness and his cape on, Owen Hart unintentionally triggered an early release. Television viewers did not see the incident, thank God. I could not imagine seeing someone falling to their death live on television and all the audience gets to see it. So during the fall, a pre-taped vignette was being shown on the pay-per-view broadcast as well as on the monitors in the darkened arena. Afterward, while Owen Hart was being worked on by medical personnel inside the ring, the live events broadcast showed only the audience. Meanwhile, WWF television announcer, good old JR Jim Ross, repeatedly told those watching live on pay-per-view that what had just transpired was not a wrestling angle or storyline and that Hart was hurt badly, emphasizing the seriousness of the situation. Owen Hart was transported to Truman Medical Center in Kansas City. While several attempts to revive him were made, unfortunately, he died due to his injuries. The cause of death was later revealed to be internal bleeding from blunt force trauma. The impact severed his aorta. Minutes later, Hart bled to death. He was 34 years old and 34 years young when he sadly passed away. So basically, during the stunt, he fell all the way down, his chest hit the top rope, and then he exploded on the ring, fell on the ring, and within that impact, a few minutes after that, he died because the top rope split his aorta open, where that means that he had a lot of internal bleeding. So unfortunately, he was not able to be saved. And I am of the belief that this gimmick did not need an entrance like that. This could have been totally preventable. And if he did not do that entrance, then he would still be wrestling, or he would be already be in the WWE Hall of Fame. All right. So here is where it gets very controversial. WWF management, mainly Vince McMahon and his other members. I'm not sure if Pete Dunne was in charge then or Michael P.S. Hayes, but generally speaking, WWE management is Vince McMahon, Pete Dunne, Michael P.S. Hayes, and John Laurinaitis. So I'm not sure if they were in charge in 1999, but they continued to show the event and they wanted the event to continue controversially. Later, Jim Ross would announce the death of Owen Hart to the home viewers during the pay-per-view, but not to the crowd in the arena. So if you were a fan in the arena, you did not learn about Owen Hart's death until you went home and watched the news. I'm not sure if there was Google or the internet in 1999. So if you were an Owen Hart fan, it must have been traumatizing because you don't know if he's seriously injured or dead. So going home and turning on the news and hearing about Owen Hart's death must have been tragic if you were a Owen Hart fan. Now, while the event went on live, it has never been released commercially by WWF Home Video. In 2014, 15 years after his death, the WWE Network aired the event for the first time. A small photo tribute is shown before the start, informing fans that Owen Hart died during the original broadcast. All footage of Owen Hart was edited out of the event, and he does not be seen in the event. The statement reads, "In memory of Owen Hart, May 7th, 1965 to May 23rd, 1999, who accidentally passed away during this broadcast." In the decades that followed Owen Hart's death, much attention was focused on the harness Owen Hart used that night, especially on the quick release trigger and safety latches. When someone is lowered from the rafters in a harness, there are backup latches that must be latched for safety purposes. 4 weeks after the event, the Hart family sued the WWF over how dangerous and poorly planned the stunt was and that the harness system was defective. After over a year and a half into the case, a settlement was reached on November 2nd, 2000, which saw the WWF give the Hart family 18 million US dollars. The night after Over the Edge, a special episode of Raw is War aired on May  24th, 1999, which was the night after his death, and it was titled Raw is Owen. It was broadcast live from the Kiel Center in St. Louis, Missouri. It included shoot interviews from his fellow wrestlers, including The Rock, Mark Henry, and several others who are personal friends of Owen Hart. According to Raw Exposed, which was a special TV series that aired upon Raw returning to USA Network on October 3rd, 2005, all storylines and rivalries were put aside, and WWF management gave all wrestlers on the roster the option of working or not. Nevertheless, 10 matches were booked with no angles in honor of the legendary late great Owen Hart. So it was very sad what happened to Owen Hart, but I'm glad that WWE did put a tribute for Owen Hart in the night after his death on the pay-per-view Over the Edge. My good friend Mike Oxlong is here. He says, "Hi, Alex. Good to see you." Thank you for tuning in, Mike. I hope you're having a great day. I appreciate your view. I hope you have a wonderful new year. And thank you for watching this live video. Hopefully, you enjoy it. All right. So now it's time for me to discuss my thoughts on this tragic case. I'll start with my thoughts on Owen Hart's death. I think this death could have been prevented. I don't think that Owen Hart should have done the entrance in the first place because it was totally dangerous and risky, and it really wasn't worth the risk, in my opinion. Um, if he did not do that entrance, he would still be alive and he would still be wrestling, most likely, considering he was only 34 years old in 1999 at the time of his death. I think it was poorly planned and it really did not add anything to the match or to the broadcast. I get that he was doing a superhero gimmick, but he could have done like superhero moves, like the Superman punch that Roman Reigns is doing. He could have done other athletical moves or taunts. He really didn't need a special entrance. I've heard over the years that this was a way for Vince McMahon to get back at WCW for Sting's entrance. Sting was doing a heroic entrance, and Vince wanted to copy that with Owen Hart and the blue blazer. So in the late 90s and early 2000s, a lot of WWE and WCW were competing with each other. They were doing the same ideas in their own way. So if you saw something on WCW, you were more than likely guaranteed to see it on WWE. For example, when Nitro went live, Monday Night Raw soon went live. So I think that rumor of Vince copying Sting's entrance is true for the Owen Hart entrance, which sadly took the life of Owen Hart. So I definitely agree with Owen Hart's wife, Martha, in that this did not need to happen, and it was totally nonsensical and risky, and it should not have happened. If it should have happened, if it had to happen, it should have happened at a larger arena or outside in a stadium somewhere. Because the arena that they were in, it was very small. It was a small arena. So, of course, when you're going to fall from a small arena, you're going to fall harder, and you'll end up dead, unfortunately. And they should have used something that was a little more reliable for humans. So definitely a sad case. Very, very sad. So let's go ahead and give a moment of silence for Owen Hart. Alrighty, thank you guys for that. So those are my thoughts on Owen Hart's passing. Again, if you want, you can share your thoughts in the comments. So now I want to talk about Owen Hart's wife, Martha, preventing WWE from inducting him into the WWE Hall of Fame, and even from WWE even mentioning him on their television. She threatened to sue Vince McMahon and the WWE if they even said his name, which is totally unfortunate. I think Martha is a little bit irrational in her thinking. I think Vince McMahon did not do this on purpose. I don't think he did this to get revenge at Bret Hart or the Hart family. It was just business. It was just for show. That's what I think Vince McMahon's mind was at. I don't think he did this to get revenge or purposely kill Owen Hart. I think Martha should have a change of heart sometime because Owen Hart does belong in the WWE Hall of Fame. Owen Hart deserves to have all his accomplishments honored by the WWE. Owen Hart was a legendary member of the Hart family. He should be in the WWE Hall of Fame along with his brother Bret Hart. He was a tag team champion. He was a intercontinental champion, a European champion, and a tag team champion. And I'm sure if he continued wrestling, had this tragedy not occurred, he would have been a world champion. So I think he does belong in the WWE Hall of Fame. However, I can kind of agree with where Martha's coming from. If I was married to a wrestler and they died in the ring on a carelessly planned stunt, then I would be sad and I would be resentful as well. But it's been many years, and I think Owen Hart definitely does belong in the WWE Hall of Fame. Now, Owen Hart is getting recognition, thank God, but not at the right place. AEW, All Elite Wrestling, was not even around during Owen Hart's life. Tony Khan was still in diapers when Owen Hart was wrestling, or he was in school. So I don't understand why Martha chose AEW over WWE, because WWE has all the legendary superstars that Owen Hart wrestled with. They have The Undertaker, they've got The Rock, they've got Stone Cold, Shawn Michaels, Bret Hart, Chris Jericho is a WWE superstar, and he'll be likely to head into the WWE Hall of Fame. But that is just my opinion. I think Martha should have an epiphany and end her hatred with Vince McMahon and WWE because Vince did not set out to have Owen Hart killed. That is just my personal opinion. I think Vince did not intend to kill Owen Hart. All right, guys, that is this episode of WWE's Dirtiest Secrets, episode 4. I hope you enjoyed this episode of WWE's Dirtiest Secrets. I hope you learned a lot about the tragic death of Owen Hart. Very sad topic to talk about because Owen Hart was one of my favorite wrestlers growing up as a young child. So, very sad case. All right, so the first WWE Dirtiest Secrets episode of 2022 is going to be on the murder of Bruiser Brody. Now, I know Bruiser Brody never wrestled for the WWE, but he inspired some of the hardcore wrestlers like Mick Foley and others. So, in 2022, the first episode of WWE's Dirtiest Secrets, I will talk about the murder of Bruiser Brody. And don't miss the first pay-per-view pre-show of 2022 this Saturday, January 1st, 2022 at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific. Catch the WWE Day 1 pre-show live right here on Pro Wrestling 101 on my YouTube channel, the legendary Alex Cardinale. I cannot wait to watch WWE Day 1, the inaugural WWE Day 1, and I cannot wait to preview the new yearly tradition. Happy New Year, WWE fans. Stay safe, enjoy your New Year's, and make sure to tune into the WWE Day 1 pre-show. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, the legendary Alex Cardinale, for more awesome videos. Tune in to WWE Day 1 this Saturday on Peacock. Goodbye, everybody. Hey, legendary Alex Cardinale here. I'm inviting you, my viewers, to be a part of history. Come tune in to my inaugural New Year's Eve bash live Friday, December 31st, 2021 at 10:30 p.m. Eastern, 7:30 p.m. Pacific. Join me as I end 2021 in style and begin 2022 with a bang. Live on my New Year's Eve bash, I am going to review the year that was 2021. I will discuss the good and the bad of 2021. I will discuss my best YouTube videos of 2021. I will discuss my New Year resolutions for 2022, and there will be viewer interactivity. Some of my subscribers will be on my video to discuss their New Year resolutions. All that and more, including an appearance from Chef Alex Cardinale, who will be giving out delicious alcoholic beverage recipes as well as delicious appetizer recipes as well. So join me live Friday, December 31st, 10:30 p.m. Eastern, 7:30 p.m. Pacific, as the final episode of 2021 is sure to be a banger. We'll see you on New Year's Eve for a fun special broadcast right here on my YouTube channel, the legendary Alex Cardinale. New Year's Eve, 10:30 p.m. Eastern, 7:30 p.m. Pacific. Legendary Alex Cardinale here to announce the legendary Alex Cardinale subscriber giveaway presented by Texas Roadhouse. This giveaway is for all of you, all 16,000 of you subscribed to my YouTube channel, the legendary Alex Cardinale. On Sunday, March 6th, 2022, I will be celebrating my 8th year as a YouTuber. I will be hosting my 8-year YouTube anniversary. And in order to celebrate that, I'm going to say thank you to my 16,000 subscribers by hosting a prize giveaway presented by Texas Roadhouse. The prize for this giveaway is a customized $75 Texas Roadhouse gift card signed by yours truly, the legendary Alex Cardinale. I will sign the gift card and send it your way. So here is how to enter this contest to win a $75 Texas Roadhouse gift card. Film a video discussing your favorite meal at Texas Roadhouse and your favorite video of mine and favorite thing about my YouTube channel. Now, if you have never eaten at Texas Roadhouse before, then just discuss your favorite video of mine and your favorite thing about my YouTube channel. Email the video to alexgoyankiecardinale19@gmail.com by March 1st, 2022. Anyone that is subscribed to my channel can enter. So I suggest entering so that you can have an all-exclusive entree, appetizer, and dessert, and maybe even a margarita at Texas Roadhouse, courtesy of the legendary Alex Cardinale. So enter right now. Deadline for entry is Tuesday, March 1st, 2022. All video entries will be uploaded to my YouTube channel and the legendary Alex Cardinale subscriber giveaway playlist. Video with the most likes and views wins. The winner will be announced live on March 6th, 2022 during my 8-year YouTube anniversary. Good luck, everybody. Enter now. Remember, entry's deadline is March 1st. Stay legendary, everybody.